Hi, everyone, and welcome to the special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Cutting Edge Benefits Podcast with our other host now, host in charge when Tom is not here, Anthony McMahon. Anthony, this topic you've come up with, I love. The fact is, let's say you're unhappy with your current health insurance, you're a business owner or an individual. Is there a way you can change your plan during the year? And the answer is absolutely, which I'm shocked about. So I have a company, 20 employees, and I'm not happy with our benefits. Our staff is complaining about them. Can I switch?
Yeah, so something we run into time and time again, and we've been dealing with it the last 5 months. I can't believe it's May now, but a lot of these companies renew their health insurance plan on January 1st. The second biggest date is probably June or July 1st, but a lot of companies were forced to renew January. Their people were out of office with the holidays. They maybe got the renewal late, and they were kind of forced to renew as is and take these extreme cost increases on the chin. The misnomer in the industry is that, hey, we have to renew the health insurance once a year. That date is January 1st or that date is July 1st. And, if we miss the window, let's circle back in, 9, 10 months. That's not the case. We're switching over a ton of groups that renewed January 1st over to our solution effective February 1st, March 1st, April 1st, May 1st, et cetera. And the reason they can do that is when you offer the secondary benefit that we, handle, the medical expense reimbursement plan, it constitutes a qualifying life event. And when it constitutes a qualifying life event, it reopens the enrollment period for that company. So any business that's listening to this, if you guys, renewed January 1st or, March 1st or April 1st or whatever, and you're not happy with the plan setup, the cost of it, anything about it, you're able to switch off of that at any time during the year with our solution. You do not have to wait another, 9, 10, 11 months to get this handled and get this fixed. You could switch at any time when you offer our solution because the MERP constitutes a qualifying life event.
Wow. So that qualifying life event, so that can be for any individual,
So
both
that's for companies.
companies.
Individuals, if they're enrolling in the marketplace, they do have to enroll January 1st. That is the deadline there. Now, things can happen in an individual's life where they can reopen the enrollment period. For instance, if they get married, if they have a kid, if they lose coverage elsewhere, things like that, that will also constitute a qualifying
Yeah.
life event, can allow them to re-enroll in an individual marketplace plan. But from a business's perspective, they could do this at
Mm.
any time during the year just by simply offering a medical expense reimbursement plan.
So if you're self-employed and your income changes, that's a life event too, by FYI. So you can do that. So your income changed and you are not currently have health insurance, that can be considered a life event.
On that piece, I mean, I don't know about the income. I mean, I'd have to ask Tom, but I know like all the other major
I've
things.
played around with it. It does work.
Okay, it does. But I know if you
Yeah.
get married, you have a kid, you lose coverage from your employer, stuff like that as an individual, you could obviously,
Or
in
if you don't have health benefits and you have not enrolled, I think you can still do it too. So some people who aren't carrying health benefits and decide they finally want to, they
Mhm.
can go in there and do that as long as they're in there. So January is not set in stone. There are ways to fool around, but we're talking more on the business side. But that's really interesting. I mean, how many businesses were shocked to know that we can change now?
Yeah, I mean a ton. I mean, they're not told that from their broker, their agent. I mean, and again, it kind of always goes back to the incentive model. I know I harp on this, but you know, unfortunately, the way it works is these brokers and agents, I'm sure they're fine people and great people, but they want to keep their groups. They want to renew their groups. They want to, lock them in for another 12 months and kick the can down the road. I think that's how they view it. They're like, what can I get them to agree to and to sign to stay on as a client, renew as is, and keep it moving forward. And from what I've seen, there's a bunch of different tactics that take place. I think a lot of these agents kind of sit on the renewals and don't send them immediately when they're received, especially when the cost increases are not going to be to the client's liking. So they'll send it 45 days, 30 days prior to the effective date. And it does not give the client and the business a lot of time to maneuver and look for alternative solutions, which therefore, hires the likelihood that they're going to continue, as is. And if you're a business owner and you were in that situation and you felt like your back was up against the wall and you kind of just had to renew and eat it on the chin, When you offer a medical expense reimbursement plan like you do within our solution, you can get off of that immediately. You can get off of that, at any time during the year. You don't have to continue paying these exuberant premiums, have your employees, have higher payroll deductions out of their paycheck to cost share with you. If you guys aren't happy with the plan or the network or the cost, any of it, you're able to switch at any time during the year with our setup, which I think is something that just is not known.
Were you able to um, do this with other companies throughout the year? You've had people switch
Yeah.
halfway.
Yeah, we've had a ton of businesses that, the last 5 months have switched over to us, after realizing that this was a possibility for them. So they thought that they were locked in until, January 1st of next year. But, after speaking with them and walking them through the same exact discussion, they're like, okay, why would I wait? Why would I give away, X thousands of dollars in the meantime when I could just get this fixed and handled, right now?
So is it easy? How difficult is it, especially to have that transition during the year? Or it's the same thing as going in January?
Yeah, it's simple. I mean, basically, we just need the employees to fill out their health apps. We're going to go ahead and source alternative, group quotes, and we're going to figure out how to best set up the insurance from, say, June 1st onward for the group. Maybe we keep the current medical plan in place for some folks, and maybe we put in a second group plan, for some others if it makes more sense financially. But the medical expense reimbursement plan is going to open up that enrollment period, constitute as a qualifying life event, and tie everything together for the business, making sure that all of the employees have the same level of benefits, it's uniform and it's non-discriminatory, and obviously compliant.
Interesting. And basically, if people are, what would you say? How would you identify that you are the candidate for ClaimLinx, in your opinion?
Are you unhappy with your current health insurance coverage, costs, service, anything? We can handle all of that. Cost wise, I mean, that's our number one attribute. We're going to get the cost down significantly, not only for the business, but if you cost share with the employees, like most small companies do, the employees are going to save money as well. They're not going to have to pay as much through payroll deductions. So cost wise, if the employees are unhappy, the business is not happy, and you guys want to increase your profitability and ultimately the value of your business, that's the number one thing right there. And we could obviously help with that. But in addition to that, the benefits that you can offer. I mean, in a medical expense reimbursement plan, you're able to spell out exactly what you want to give to the employees. You could say, hey, here's the exact deductibles, the exact copays, the exact visitation limits that we want to offer, and you can customize it. You don't have to just go with an off-the-shelf plan that these carriers are offering. You could say, hey, these are the benefits I want to offer my people. Here's the specific pain points I want to address. I can make it a better benefit. I can make it a lot more simple and easy to understand and navigate for them, and we can help you design that. And then, third is the service piece. I mean, with our solution, everything's in-house. I mean, we have our, agents in-house, we have our sales team in-house, we have our claims department in-house, and then we also have the service team in-house. So every group that we work with, they get a dedicated admin service manager and a dedicated field service manager that works with the employees. So no longer do they have to call, 1-800 Aetna or go ahead to their HR with a million questions. They come to us with any benefit related questions and we help them in that regard. So if you're not happy with the cost, if you're not happy with the level of benefits, and you're not happy with the level of service, we can, tackle all three of those for you and open up the enrollment period at any time during the year. So I think it really is a bulletproof type of solution.
Fantastic. So go to claimlinx.com, schedule a call with Anthony today. Appreciate it, Anthony, and we'll talk soon.
Yep.
That
Thanks,
was,
guys.
you're welcome. That was special simulcast, the Neil Haley Show and the Cutting Edge Benefits